We are Steve and Jill.
Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show,
We answer that and more. I'm Stephen Jack Butala.
and I'm Jill DeWit, and this is the Land Academy Show.
This is episode number 2146. Today, Jill and I are talking about the most common mistakes new land investors make. Another super popular topic. It's confidence and motivation week all week.
Oh, I could talk for a long time on this one.
Me too. Because we made them all.
Oh, yeah. I made them all. Or just a reminder, it's 10 years of Land Academy this year, 2025, 10 years of working with other investors and watching them succeed and goof up.
Each day on the show, we answer a question from our Land Academy member Discord forum, take a deep dive into land-related topics by popular request.
Yep. Okay, so Matt wrote, for those of you mailing mobile homes, I was thinking that maybe folks that currently live in the properties are less likely to sell than those whose mailing address is not the subject property. I was considering mailing only absentee owners, but then again, I'm not sure I want to weed out that much of my list. Thoughts? And then one of our members piped right in here and he said, Aaron, he wrote, we've been mailing absentee homes, mobile and stick built, neutral letters though, and have had success. Experience so far is that it's working, but it takes a lot more capital and there's more drama versus land. I hang out at local REI meetups sometimes, and the guys that have like 1,000 doors seem to have found a lot of them off market like this. So far, we've just been flipping them. Love it.
Look, I don't think this is a good idea. I think if you start down the path of profiling, look, why not just send them all?
Right.
The reason the mailers work so well is because you're intelligently leveraging the power of the mail. If I send out 10,000 letters, I'm probably making 100 phone calls back and I end up with 10 logical acquisition. Those are pretty good numbers. 10 logical acquisition candidates. If I start making my mailer smaller, what I'm really doing is reducing my chances of buying a successful property because, as Jill said yesterday, we're looking for a circumstance. Yeah. And I don't think there's more likelihood of an absentee person having a circumstance than somebody who actually lives there in the case of mobile homes.
I can speak to this personally. I have a good solid percentage of recent mobile and stick-built home situations where mom and or dad were there and they were getting older, and it came at the right time as the kids were in the process of moving them to other places where they could get care and things like that. You would miss all those.
This is, I'm going to go on to the topic because this is one of the most common mistakes new land investors make.
Good.
That's today's topic.
Like overthinking it?
Making your mailer smaller is not a good idea. And I understand, like in your soul, you would rather spend $3,000 on mail instead of $5,000 or whatever the numbers end up being for you and get an acquisition or two.
I can say, well, here's what a lot of people think. I'm going to mail everyone that's behind on their taxes. They don't live there. Let's see what else.
Dead.
They've owned it for more than 15 years or something like that. These are a couple of things that people automatically gravitate to all the time and think it's going to get a better yield on their offers. And I'm here to tell you, you're missing a lot.
Here's two opposite extreme scenarios that hopefully prove this. I want to make one phone call or one text and buy a piece of property. Well, guess what? So do I. But what I choose to do instead is spend about 2 hours creating a mailer of about 10,000 units, cough up to $7,000. And now I have 100 callbacks and usually 10 really good solid properties to look at with spending a lot less time, a lot less mental energy, just letting the leverage of the mail work into my benefit. Does it cost more upfront? Yep. That, my friends, keeps everybody out of this business.
Mm-hmm. What's interesting about that? Because I love what you said. My second mistake people make is not sending out enough mail, not having the abundance, and the deals coming back like you just did. Because here's what happens. They make mistakes. When you have 20 good properties coming back at you in one, this week of phone calls, let's just say, you're not going to screw it up. You're going to clearly be able to go, well, these 2 are the best ones. No kidding. But if you have only 5 or less that came back to you this week because you didn't send out as much mail, like Jack just said, now you're going to make a mistake and you're going to probably overspend or buy a not good property.
Exactly. I'm going to run down my mental list of other mistakes and then you can comment, Jill.
Okay.
Next on my list is overanalyzing the data perspective, and to the point where you never pull the trigger on sending the mail out because you're chasing something that doesn't exist, which is a perfect mailer.
Love it.
Number 2, you're such a data person like me that you really kind of altogether forget the emphasis that needs to be put on doing Jill's job, which is answering the phone and creating the real estate deal. You love the data part. You love the dark room analysis part. And you believe your pricing is so amazing that you won't have to answer the phone, which is just, and I'm talking about myself now because I am I'm the avatar of this. I'm going to do the greatest mailer there ever was, and the deals are going to smash me back in the face. And that's just not the case. No matter how you slice it, you need somebody, whether it's you or somebody like Jill, to answer the phone and actually create those real estate deals. Yep. That's a real common mistake. Another common mistake that I see, and this is my final, these are big ones, not little ones, is thinking that you can do this by yourself and thinking that you have to have money to buy a piece of real estate. This is a big mistake I made when I started. I'm only going to use my own money. I'm not going to utilize equity for other people, like-minded people like the group in Land Academy. And it's stopping me from buying a $25,000 piece of property because I only have $5,000 to spend.
Yeah.
Those are the big ones.
That's a bummer. You're exactly right. Trying to think, timeliness, follow-up. Those are some mistakes people make too. When you talked about, I'm thinking of my side of the sheet. Your side of the sheet is data, pricing, picking the areas, all that really important stuff. If that doesn't go well, doesn't matter how great I am. So then my part is talking to the sellers, like you said, creating a deal, having someone answering the phone when these people call, and being Johnny on the spot and following up as you say you will, and doing a good amount of due diligence and moving forward and buying the property and just pushing it through the system. That's two people kind of could sometimes get hung up on different parts. They'll put it in escrow and then walk away. You need to babysit it all the way through, and you got to hurry up and put it in escrow. You could lose some sellers right there if you take too long and you give them time to change their mind, or sell it to somebody else, like their brother who's, comes along and says, I'll buy it, kind of thing. So I'm trying to think what else.
Biggest mistakes. Yeah. This is my final comment.
Okay.
That people make have nothing to do with buying and selling real estate. That's the fact. And the more older I get, the more I understand this. The biggest mistakes that people make are they don't have the confidence, they don't have the self-control and the follow through and the organizational skills that it takes to be successful in this business. And it's not just this business, it's everything. Discipline, intensity, and fallbacks and mechanisms to make sure that you implement finish what you start. Mm-hmm. And so it's all over the internet. There's tons of self-help industries that address this stuff, but they're all going to say some version of what I just said. And so if you're very organized, you have to finish what you start. You have surrounded yourself with people that have the same kind of attitude you do and want the same thing at the end. You're going to do great. Yep. Learning to buy and sell land or any other real estate, or learning anything will be a breeze for you then. I'll end on mine. My biggest thing is forgetting and / ignoring your opinions. You need to do that of what you think is going to happen and how you think this should go. I remember we've had so many really ultra successful Land Academy members, and they said the same thing. I said, hey, what advice do you have? If you go back to old podcasts, like Luke, you'll hear him say this, like, I had to just shut down what I thought, follow the steps that you guys taught me, and watch what happens. Check your emotion at the door. This doesn't make sense. I'm like, I don't care. Do it. And then watch what happens. Join us tomorrow where we discuss how to stay motivated when you're not seeing the results yet. You are not alone in your real estate ambition. We are Jack and Jill. Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.
We hope you found our content valuable and we appreciate your support. If you have not already, please check out our channel and hit the subscribe button.
And your comments and suggestions help us to create the content you're here for. Hitting the like button helps to support our channel's algorithm and gauge your interest for future shows.